Hi guys, it's steeljan here, and today I'm at Radio Shack, and I'm going to show you how to build a nickel metal hydride mod. Go to Ecig.com. He shows you how to build nickel metal hydride mods. And why would you want to do that? Come here. Okay, for one, lithium chemistry is a little bit more dangerous than nickel metal hydride chemistry. It's safer. But for the second thing, you can buy nickel metal hydride batteries anywhere, at the grocery store, at the drugstore, Radio Shack. And the same with all the connectors and everything you need to build an e-cigarette, right here at Radio Shack. And today I'm going to show you how to do it. And here's my little cheesy mod that I built so I can show you, just to get the principle. That's it. Hit it! Hey guys, it's steeljan here. Okay, so what are you going to need to build this mod? This is a plastic tube that I got from Mad Vapes. It's 3/8 inch by 6 1/4, and it was 39 cents. A size N coaxial power jack from Radio Shack. Part number is 274-1583, and there's what it is. This is going to fit a 901 atomizer or an 808 cartomizer in our case. Yay! That's going to be our battery jack, our battery connection. If you want an LED on it, you're going to need an LED and resistor. This is a 3mm lime green LED with a 472 ohm resistor. I got it from Mad Vapes. The set for 49 cents. A pin clip. This is off of a regular ink pen. And what I did to sprung it big enough to fit the plastic tube was I ran it down a drumstick. Yes, my drumstick. I put the pin clip on the drumstick and pushed it down here until I got it to sprung out big enough to where I can fit it on the plastic tube without pinching it. A pin spring, or any old spring. Any kind of a spring you got laying around would probably work. Just one that's squishy. If you don't have a spring, you can improvise. Well, you can improvise on all of this. You're going to need a booty from a cartomizer. That's going to be your end piece. You need an old cartomizer. That's going to help you center everything up. Besides which, you're going to need cartomizers to vape. You're going to need some batteries. Now these are Tenergies, and you just need to make sure they say that they are nickel metal hydride rechargeable batteries. These are 1000 milliamp hours. You can get these any place. You can get them at Radio Shack. You can get them at the grocery store, the hardware store, anywhere. Right now, Battery Junction has these Tenergies on sale for 12 of them for $10.20. So yeah. So 3 of them for this, because we're making a 3.6 volt puck. And for me, for wire, I'm going to use desoldering braid, commonly known as solder wick. That's what I'm going to use. It's beefy. It's going to deliver all my amps to the cartomizer, and I think it's pretty. So that's the parts. That's all the parts. Tools you'll need. Need some clippers and some needle nose pliers and a pen to mark the tube, and an X-Acto knife or something to cut the tube. Maybe a screwdriver to hold the thing down with if you don't have helping hands. Some solder. I'm going to use some packing tape with a pair of scissors. That's enough. I'm also going to use hot glue in this case. And my soldering iron. But you know, if you're out in ITMOH in the middle of nowhere and you need to build this thing, you can always get this stuff. It's basically found at auto parts stores. It is soldering that you don't need a soldering iron with. You just bend this around the connection you want to solder, and you heat it with a match or a lighter. So I use this when I'm putting in stereos in cars instead of getting underneath there with a soldering iron. Works really well. So you don't actually need a soldering iron. So now I'm going to take the tube, and I'm going to use my X-Acto knife here, and I'm going to cut the end off of it. Well, folks, you just missed me soldering the spring onto the solder wick onto the spring because I thought I had the camera running. I had it on, but I didn't have it running. I put the spring on the pencil, and I wrapped the solder wick around the bottom of the spring really well, and then I soldered the whole thing together. I'm going to take the rubber booty. I'm going to put hot glue in here quite a ways up. Now I'm going to push my spring into it. I want the spring to be held in place really well, but I want it to stick up quite a bit. Okay, so I want to bend my solder wick over and down like that. Take the tube and I want to jam this inside. And then I'm going to let it dry that way. Okay, so it's not too elegant, but I'm going to let it go ahead and harden like that. So now that it'll be a very tight fit to push up against those batteries. Okay, so let's move on to what we're going to do with the battery connector. Now, if you are going to Mad Vapes to get a tube and resistors and an LED, you might as well go ahead and pick up an actual battery connector of what you want. This one is that coaxial jack. I'm going to remove the nut and the washer from it and put those aside. We're not going to use those. Now the way this looks, let's look on the back of the package. And Puck has this all on his website as well. You can see that one of these legs, this one, actually is attached to the center. So if we look at it like this, the picture is like this. We have the center pin, we have then these two say that they are to the case. Well, this is actually a jack with a switch. And so we have a connector over here that if a real coaxial was pushed in here, it'd make contact, but we don't. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a solder blob right here to solder blob the case to that contact point. And I have a set of helping hands, but I'm going to use what Puck shows, how Puck shows to do this on his website. He shows to hold it with a screwdriver, and I am going to put a pair of clippers underneath the screwdriver to hold it up a little bit. Hold this flat. And I'm going to put a solder blob right there. Just like Puck says to do. On the back side, it has an opening, and we don't want this opening because if juice gets down through the connector, we don't want it coming out this hole. So what I'm going to do with that for this on-camera demonstration is I'm going to just put hot glue in there. And again, if I was doing this for real, for myself, for something to use every day, I wouldn't be using hot glue and all that, but this is for the camera. Just want to seal that hole. We want to take off one of these lugs, one of the unneeded lugs. We want to keep the one that's going to the center, which is this one. And I think I want to keep the one that's right next to it for my negative. So I'm going to whack off this guy. I don't need it, and it'll just be in the way. Take our plug here, and I'm going to press fit it into the hole like so. I want to put the cartomizer on it because I want all this to be going to be straight when it's finished. I'm going to take my Sharpie marker, any kind of magic marker, and I want to make a place where I'm going to place a hole. And I want it to cover both of these lugs, and I want it to be above it in the dark space here. I'll show you what it's going to do in a minute. So let's just trace this onto here. Sorry for the clock. And I want it to be big enough because I'm going to be able to get the resistor through the hole. I'm going to be adding that, and I'm going to get the braid wire through it. So I think that's about where I want this hole. Now I'm going to take the lug, and I want to, let's make sure that's going to work out. I can get these through here. Yes, they're going to fit. Let's take this lug, and I want to bend it so that I'm going to get the I want to get these lugs out of the way, because just like on a flashlight battery, just like on a flashlight, I'm going to use this post in the middle to be my positive for a battery. Just like if this was a light bulb, this is going to be the positive. Like that. So I don't want those lugs interfering, and I'm going to be taking them outside the case to solder on them. So about there's where I want to bend them, out here. Now I'm going to take solder wick, another strand of solder wick, and I'm going to solder it onto my negative and leave about 5 inches of it hanging. So my negative is going to be this one. I'll solder that on. Okay, now let's work with the LED. Here's the LED, and how do you tell which is goes to the positive side, the anode, is if you think of a model, long legs are a plus. So, you know, a model in fashion, long legs are a plus. That's how I remember it. The long leg is the plus. Now, if somebody's whacked off your LED and you don't know which way to look for, if you can see through it and you see, I don't know if you can see it on this camera, but if you can see that this side of that LED looks like a little triangular flag, like a little marine flag. The marine flag that's over the smaller piece inside, that's your negative. That's your cathode. It goes to your negative side. And it doesn't matter which side of this you put the resistor on. The resistor is just to limit current in this entire leg. You don't want much current going to the LED. You'll burn it out. Besides, every milliamp of current you're using up for your LED, you're starving from your mod, from your tip of your cartomizer. So I'm just going to pick a leg here. I'm going to pick the positive side, and I'm going to just whack off some of it. I want these to be about the same size. I don't care. And I want to whack off some of this resistor. Which side doesn't matter. Resistors are not polarized, so it doesn't matter. This is one time when, since this is such low current, tack soldering is perfectly all right. So I'm having a pretty good hand day today, hand and arm day today, which is rare, which is why I'm doing this mod today. I have been having pretty bad trouble lately, but okay, did I get it? As long as I got it, that's all that matters. Yep, that's pretty good. So now I'm going to whack this off here. Where's my whackers? . I'm going to take my lug and I'm going to put the positive to the positive and the negative to the negative. I'm going to tack on my positive to my positive. That was so hard. And now I'm going to tack the negative onto the negative. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, now I'm going to whack this off at about 5 inches of braid for what I need. Ta-da! Now we've got the LED and we've got the positive. Now we want to dry fit this all together. So stick this in here. This is why we cut the hole out in the tube. The LED, I'm going to just tack there when I'm said and done. We're going to hot glue him. Again, don't do this at home. Use epoxy, use something. Don't use a plastic tube. I'm just showing you how to mod so that you can get the hang of it. A mod is only limited by your imagination. You think it up however you want it to go. Now we need to figure out where we're going to put our clip, which is going to be a switch. So the LED is going to go here and the clip is going to go here. So take my magic marker, whack the braid off here, and let's scratch this up where I'm going to try to get it to. I'm going to put my soldering iron on 40 because this is going to be a tough solder. You just go for it and see what I can do. Oh, it's going to take solder. Yay! It's going to take solder without any fuss. Well, yay for that. So where I scratched it clean, it accepted the solder just fine. And solder it in place. Okay, so it's cool now, and I can see where I'm going to want it to lie, directly below here. Okay, so now let's go back down to the end plug, and I think this should have a different design to it. The first one I made of these, this turned out all right. This one, I'm not digging it so much, so if anybody's got any ideas on this, I thought about epoxying pieces of bottle down here with threads and stuff, so then it could be screw on, or if I had a little flashlight that had some screw on things down here, I could just use that. But you know, this was just for this quickie mod. And so anyway, I want to leave some of this hanging, and I'm going to figure out where this is going to be. If you haven't realized it yet, guys, the clip is the switch. Yes, the clip is the switch. So I need to know where I'm going to put that. And so I'm going to whack this off about here. I'm going to take off my clip. I know where I want this. I'm going to hot glue it into place. Coming on down further from that, I'm going to want to put some hot glue along the line and keep my gig line here, so to speak. Okay, so we got this here. We're going to put the clip on here. See how this is going to work. I've cut off camera just some pieces of clear packing tape. I want to just cover this. Now, I would like to put like a nice polyurethane coating over this. Is what I'd like to do. But for this video, I just want to show you, I guess I'm showing you the proof of concept of this, of how you can do this. And I'm going to put some hot glue under here. Yes, of course, you love the hot glue, don't you? I know, I hate hot glue too on mods. And make sure that when it dries, I'm going to be able to press it on that. So you want to line it up so it's going to press on the copper wire, on the wire. That's your object. But it needs to be straight over the top before you're going to make contact. Now in a mod, no positive and negative connection should ever exist in the mod itself. Your connection is only going to happen inside your cartomizer. And that's only going to happen when you push this button. Did I say that good enough? Did I say that correctly? This is the only open in your whole mod, your switch. Whatever your switch is your only open connection. And when you push it, it should complete the circuit. That's the concept. This little chunk of glue here, and I'm just going to tack that LED in place as well. Just tack it in place. Up here at the top, I've got a little piece of, this tape I'm using is clear duct tape. What would anything that you build be without a little bit of duct tape on it, right? And I use duct tape everywhere. I'm a real Jan. I use duct tape everywhere. Okay. So I put a piece of tape over here. And then I also want to cover these connections with some glue. And the thing here is I want to cover this hole. The hole in the tube. Not necessarily for any other reason than I want it to have a little bit more rigidity up here. This is a it's a soft plastic tube. It was never intended to be, I don't think, used for modding. Mad Vapes put them up on their website and just said, here's some plastic tubes. You want them? Anybody want them for 39 cents? You know, do with it as you will. Figure something out if you want to. And I thought, cool idea. Shoot, yeah. I want to make sure that this is held in place. So I'm using a piece of this duct tape, clear duct tape, and I'm going to go all the way around on it. This will absolutely hold it in place. Guys and girls, don't spend hundreds of dollars on a mod. You can make mods. You can make mods for cheap. You get to do it the way you want to do it. You get it to be your own design. Okay, so for the on-off switch, I'm going to take a piece of clear duct tape. Or you can do this any way you want to. I'm just going to show you what my how I'm going to do it. Then how you want to do it is up to you. And I'm going to fold it over and try to be as elegant as I can with this, which probably won't be too, but we'll see how I can do it. Put it around my tube. And tape it with more duct tape. And that is my on-off switch. Yes, it is. This is on, and when I slide this up, this is off. See? No contact. Okay. So now let's put batteries in it and see if it vapes. Now, okay. There it is. Let's see, hold out for my face. Do we have green LED lightage? Oh, we have to turn off the on-off switch. Yes, we have the green LED. Do we have vape? We do. Oh, yes. Nice. That's the mod. So yeah, you don't have to order everything online. You can get what you need right here at Radio Shack. Good American business, provides American jobs. Yeah, a steeljan out. Thanks, Pucky Sigs.
Steeljan.